data structure does. So anyway, so in backtracking, we'll be discussing two problems, and first problem is the NQueen problem. Let's discuss that. And NQueen problems is like very interesting to me, not only because it is a very important question in backtracking, because it was one of the interview question. It was one of my interview question, and they asked, "What is the? Can you please solve NQueen problem?" Right? So, and also it is like very famous like backtracking problem. The moment someone tells you backtracking, like these things should come actually, like Sudoku or NQueen or some other questions are also very important. I think rat in a maze or something like that, right? And then night tours and like that, right? But the concepts remain same. So so in backtracking, for example, in dynamic programming, what I mentioned, that few things are important, right? One thing is important is that writing base cases are very important in dynamic programming, and then the most important is writing base cases. Base cases at least you can write, but the most important part is that writing recursive expression is very important, like how you are linking your problem to the sub problem and how you are defining sub problem. It means that how you are writing the mathematical expression, basically recursive expression. And with the help, the moment you are capable of writing recursive expression correctly, at that moment you can consider that you have solved the question. DP is never over. DP cannot be over actually, but yeah, like we are having very less number of sessions, right? So 10 sessions and complete DS algo. So I am moving towards backtracking, right? So yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that in DP, the most important thing was recursive expression, right? And then base case, and then like, of course, in recursive expression only, you will try to link the problem with the help of some sub problem, right? And then with the help of that actual expression, you will solve the problem, right? So in that sense only, backtracking is also kind of having those things basically, right? So in backtracking also few things are important. You know, base cases are very important everywhere. Base cases are very, very important everywhere. Like in backtracking also, you'll see that you have to write the base cases. It's not that without writing base cases, you'll be able to solve backtracking questions, right? So yeah, so that is one of the thing. And then similarly, as we used to write like recursive expression in the case of dynamic programming, we will be writing a recursive function in the backtracking, right? So few things I just wanted to tell you, that to give you a gist about the backtracking, what backtracking is. You know, in Sudoku, I mean, like I'm taking the example of Sudoku because I feel like everyone has solved at least one time Sudoku or have seen that like that, right? So in Sudoku, how you solve Sudoku, right? So for example, 9 by 9 table is there, and then the rules are that two numbers cannot be in one row cannot contain two duplicate element basically, or number. One column cannot contain two duplicate number, right? And then one box, which is kind of 3 by 3 chunk of the table, complete table, should also not be containing any element twice, right? And then numbers can be taken in from 1 to 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So these are the constraint of Sudoku, right? But you see how we solve Sudoku. We kind of if you meet a good Sudoku solver, what you will realize that he is not doing there are two things basically. One thing is naive approach. For all of you who do not know what is the naive approach, naive approach is a very brute force approach, like very like trying all the things, right? Hit and trial basically. For example, there are 5 possible cases, so you are trying every case basically. So that is kind of very naive approach, right? So you will feel like the good Sudoku solver is not doing the like naive approach or brute force we call, or like he's not trying to extract all the configuration and then he's trying one by one. He do not do like that, right? If you feel like he try to let me show you the figure of Sudoku. Actually he tries to do backtracking basically, right? But we do not realize that he's doing backtracking because we don't know what backtracking is at that moment. Sudoku, right? You see, so what I'm trying to say, so you see, this is for example the picture of Sudoku, right? 3 by 3 boxes and rows and columns, right? So what I'm trying to say, the moment someone fills, for example, I'm talking about the first row, right? From the top, first row, 5 3 elements are there, 5 and 3, and I'm trying to fill, let us say here 1 letters, right? And then I will think that okay, here what can be actually how we drive it here, what can be placed actually? So 3, 5 and 7 cannot be placed, right? And then 6 also cannot be placed, 8 also, 9 also. So 1 can be placed, right? 2 can be placed, right? 3 cannot be placed, right? So like that. And then when again in this box only we try to solve the problem, right? And if it is working, then we try to shift to the next one, right? And the moment we feel like, okay, I put a wrong thing, it cannot be put actually. So we do not again start from the start actually. We just, are you getting my point? Or what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say that the moment we realize that this number cannot be placed here, we just remove that element and then start solving from that point only. It is not that we start again from scratch, right? So this is backtracking basically. We are not going to like, and see what is the new approach. The new approach will be something like, suppose that you successfully solve for one chunk, I mean like for one 3 by 3 row, right? 3 by 3 table basically, right? And then so new approach will be something like, the moment you start solving for the next chunk, I mean like from fourth, like this chunk which I'm hovering at from the mouse actually. So the moment you will start solving this chunk and you realize that, okay, I put something wrong, the new approach will be that you delete everything. Like for example, with the help of 30 minutes you did something, some calculation, and you reached up to this point, you just delete everything and start from the scratch. So that will be a new approach. But backtracking will be something like, the moment you realize that this element I have put it at wrong place, you just started from there itself. So I just wanted to give you like view actually what is like backtracking. So yeah, that is backtracking basically, right? Because it's more efficient from new approach, because in new approach it will be kind of like time complexity will be much higher, right? But in the case of backtracking, it's not the case. Like the moment we stop it, we started from there itself, right? And if you feel like nothing is working here, then it means that this complete solution is wrong only. Then we keep on coming back one step, right? So that is a kind of backtracking, right? So yeah. So few things which I just wanted to mention, that in Sudoku, for example, one thing I mentioned that base cases are important. So I'm just writing what are the basics, what are the things which you need to know. Base cases you have to write, right? This is the very prominent thing. And then you have to write a, like you have to fit a recursive function, right? And what else are there? In case of DP, base case was there, recursive expression was there, right? And then one, yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah. So in the case of backtracking also, these two things are there, but the way to write DP and the way to write backtracking are different, right? So what we'll be doing, I'll just write simple code basically, and then we can get it from there, right? So let me take one small example from internet itself, and then I can explain to you that what we'll be doing in the case of Sudoku, right? So I'm just taking example. Let me take like this, or whatever. Okay. How should I make table? Okay. Yesterday's only, right? So let us say 1, 3, 4, then 5, 2, right? Like that. And then one empty. So for empty, I'm writing O, let us say, just to not O actually. Let me write E. E stands for empty cell actually, right? So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 5, 6, and then 4 more, right? So 8, 9, and then 7, and then 6, and then that's it, right? And like that we'll be making a like 9. So this is one of the row. We will be like we will be taking the 9 row, 8 more rows, right? And this row is having 9 columns, so it will be kind of table, actually table form. So yeah, so I'm just showing you how you will be like how you'll be doing in the case of, just to make sure that you understand. But you have to remember this thing very much clearly actually, that these things are very important: writing base cases and then recursive function, and then you keep on trying actually all things. So backtracking is a kind of naive approach only, but we are doing some trick basically, right? It's not a complete naive approach, right? So brute force, hit and trial, right? So it will be a combination of hit and trial, recursive function, and then base case. but it's not a very new hit and trial. It will be kind of intelligent hit and trial, right? Because we are not starting every time from scratch. Basically, we are starting from that point itself. So, and we will also discuss the time complexity and all, right? Okay, so see, any backtracking problem will be having, I'm just writing a function so that you can get gist of basically. So backtracking function. So what it will be taking? It will be taking a complete Sudoku, right? So it will be taking an array basically, isn't it? So it will be taking an array. So, and it will be returning true or false, whether it is like, oh, I just mentioned NQ problem and then I just Sudoku, right? Oh, don't worry, that's fine. We'll discuss NQ problem after this problem. Okay, let me discuss Sudoku first, because Sudoku is like, everyone have heard at least Sudoku, right? Yeah. So so it will be taking one matrix, right? And matrix will be two-dimensional basically, containing the whole Sudoku, right? So suppose that we are having 9 by 9 matrix basically, and it's n or whatever you can take, right? So it's, let us take 9 only, right? And then, so I was just telling to you that we have written on line number 6, 7, 8 that we will do three things basically in every backtracking function. What are those? Like these things, you should be, it should be present in your mind that these things, backtracking problem is that you have to write base case, then recursion, and then heat and trial thing, or you can say that first comes base case, and then comes heat and trial, and then comes recursive function, right? So base case, heat and trial, and this will be the order actually to write the code of each and every backtracking problem actually, right? So yeah, this is the case. So you see, what will be the base case? So here base case is not the same as the base case in dynamic programming. In the case of dynamic programming, we used to solve a very basic, or you can say the preliminary base sub problem, and then we used to feed the answer already. Like we used to feed the the calculated answer by us in the array actually, or in the whatever solution array was there, right? But in the case of backtracking, base case will be something like whether I have done it or not. So it is not the same as exact DP. In DP what you used to say, हम लोग कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो उसको जीरो, जैसे मैथ्स में होता है ना, कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो उसको हम लोग जीरो के लिए सॉल्व करते हैं, वन के लिए सॉल्व करते हैं, टू के लिए सॉल्व करते हैं, और उसके बाद गेस करते हैं, राइट? तो वो जीरो को सॉल्व करना, वन को सॉल्व करना और टू को सॉल्व करना, ये डीपी का बेस केसेस है. मतलब हम लोग छोटे से वैल्यू के लिए सॉल्व कर देते हैं, राइट? So that will be DP. But in the case of backtracking, it's different. In the case of backtracking, the base cases are that whether I have completed it or not. So what do you mean by completed? So what is the question first of all? So question is that you just return whether it is, one question may be that you just return whether it is possible to like to solve the Sudoku or not. So whether it is possible to fill, like whether it is possible to solve the Sudoku or not, in the sense that you can fill 1 to 9, and then just 1 minute. Yeah, so what I was trying to say is that in the case of backtracking, the base cases are a little different, in the sense that base cases is something whether we have solved or not, right? So in the sense that so what we are doing in the backtracking, so I was telling the problem is that we need to find that whether it is possible to solve this Sudoku or not. Like there are some numbers pre-fitted, right? Like for example, see in the first row which I have written for just for the example purpose, you see that 1 3 4 5 2 are already there, right? And E is the empty actually, where we have to fill 1, and then 8 9 7 6. So for example, suppose that here it is instead of last element 6, here it is 7, right? And then this Sudoku is given to us, right? So it is not possible to fill the Sudoku, right? Because 7 cannot comes 2 times, right? And like that. So it is wrong actually, it is not possible only. So therefore the answer will be wrong actually if 2 7s are coming like that, right? So the problem is that we need to return whether it is possible to fill the Sudoku or not, right? So yeah, so I was talking about the base cases, how in each and every backtracking problem how you should be writing base cases basically, right? So you see, base cases will be, so I was telling that base cases will be whether we have completed it already or not, right? That will be a kind of base case basically. So if you have completed already the Sudoku, what will happen? If you have already completed the Sudoku, the thing which will happen is that you are already having filled all the empty cells basically. So one like row comma column is called a cell, right? So if you have filled all cells and it is following the constraint, so you know already the constraint, right? One element cannot be present two times in a row, one element cannot be present two times in a column, and one element cannot be present two times in a chunk of 3 by 3 matrix basically, right? So that was the constraint. So if every element is filled and it is following the constraint, that means that we are done, right? So that is a base case here. So I'm writing base case. If so, one code will be there, right? And then we'll be writing a code that or the best case is that what the best coding will part will be that you just call a function, right? You just call a function. Let us say the name of the function is everything done successfully. This is a function name, let us say, right? We called a function, and we what will we pass? Of course we will be passing the matrix, right? So what this function will be doing, so this function will be checking whether each and everything in matrix is following the constraint or not, and everything is filled or not. So that will be you can say that that will be kind of base case basically, right? And yeah, so this will be the one, right? And then if it is the case, what will be doing, if it will be case, then we'll be returning if everything successfully, so then we are returning true, right? Because we have done because this function is returning bool, right? We do not need to return the exact places or exact element of the matrix. So we are returning true, right? Because we have solved the matrix, we have solved the Sudoku already, right? So that will be the thing, right? Else part. So this will be the base case. One thing is now very much clear, right? You know how to write base case, for example, in this particular problem, that you check that whether we have successfully solved this backlinking problem or not. That will be a base case basically to check it. Now I mentioned that, you see on line number 7, I mentioned that you have to write now heat and trial, right? So in Sudoku, how you'll be doing heat and trial? You see, the moment we talk about heat and trial, at that moment we also think that what is the thing to do heat and trial, right? So what we are doing heat and trial here we are taking every number 1 to 9, and then we are putting in each and every cell and checking that whether it is filling completely and satisfying all the constant or not. So our heat and trial will be like taking all the numbers from 1 to 9 and then putting in in the empty cells, right? So we are doing a heat and trial on numbers basically, right? So this is how intuitively you will start thinking basically, right? So we'll be taking from I is equals to 1, I equal to 9, less than equal to 9, and then plus 1, right? So you will be trying each and every number actually, right? So yeah, and then it is given that we have to take from 1 to 9 only, right? So now this is a heat and trial step basically. So I mentioned that there is 3 steps basically to solve any backtracking problem. First step is that base cases, second step is that heat and trial, and third step is that recursive function, right? So we are at the step of heat and trial, right? We are doing heat and trial. So let's see how we do heat and trial, right? So I've written that we will be checking with the help of every number basically, right? So also for a particular time, we'll be having one row or column, right? Like we are talking about which row and which column, right? So we'll be having a one row and one column, right? So yeah. So yeah, so let us say we are at line number 20. I mean, like I is equals to 1 basically. We are at this point, right? So if we will be writing, if yeah, we'll be writing if I mean, like it is possible to put I is equals to 1. We are at I is equals to one, right? So if it is like whatever, if it is possible, right, if it is possible to fill what, to fill in the matrix basically this particular element. What is this element? I, right? If it is possible to fill this particular element in the matrix basically, and what will be the location of the gap actually, like the moment we talk about filling, actually we should be having one value basically, right? And that value will define that, okay, we'll be kind of doing, like we will be kind of filling this particular element. So so if it is possible to fill matrix I, and let us say two values basically, as particular row and particular column, and then yeah, if that is the case, then let me define it here or anywhere actually, right? If it is possible to put, am I not audible? I believe that let me check. I believe that this is the problem with your system, because you are the only one who is commenting there, right? So yeah, so everyone please like listen carefully. The gist, what I'm trying to say is that you have to follow only three things in every backtracking problem. The moment you feel like this problem can be solved from backtracking problem, you have to write the base case. We should be checking that whether we have completed or not, and then you have to write a heat, and you have to start think that you have to start thinking in the way that how to do heat and trial, and then you have to write a recursive function, right? Or I mean like calling the same function, backtracking function, right? So yeah, so if it is possible to place ith number, I is equals to 1, let us say, at the row comma column index basically, that will I will define that what that row and column is. If it is that is the case, then what you do, you just put it, right? You just put it, or whatever, right? Whatever I have taken, matrix row and then column is equals to that I, right? Whatever number we are taking, right? If it is possible, then just write it, right? And then comes the third step basically. Now since you have already put it there, so you have to recurse it now, right? So the moment we talk about recursion, what we do it in the same way. We'll calling the same function, backtracking, and then you pass the matrix. And then if it is also the case, so what I'm trying to say is that suppose that you solved it for one value, right? I is equals to 1 at one particular location. Now what you have to do, you have to move to the next cell basically, but the next cell is another problem, right? Which is kind of doing the backtrack thing, same thing, right? Will be like next cell will be doing the same thing, like it will try to figure out the base case whether we have already solved it or not, and then it will be doing the hit and trial with a particular number 1 to n, 1 to 9, sorry, and then it will again doing the for further cells, right? So therefore I need to call backtracking function again, and if this is also true, so just return true. If it is false, then return false, right? So if it is true, then so you see, if it is true, I mean like if backtracking matrix is coming as true value, then we are kind of returning true value. If it is true, then it will return, it will not go ahead. I mean like, so line number 25 will not get executed if line number 24 is already returning some value, right? True value, right? So if line number 25 is executing, what I'm going to write, let us say that it is not returning true, so that means that it got filled basically, right? So what I'm trying to say is that अगर ये condition जो है 24 line number पे, if backtracking matrix जो condition है ये fail हो गया, मतलब कि हम किसी solve करते हुए सुडोकू किसी problem पहुंचे, किसी सेल पे पहुंचे basically, और अभी तक अच्छा खासा सेल सॉल्व कर चुके थे और वो सेल जो है फेल हो रहा है, तो हम क्या करेंगे, एक स्टेप पीछे आएंगे. तो एक स्टेप पीछे आने के लिए क्या बोलते हैं उसको, हम लोग एक स्टेप पीछे आने के दो कैसे करेंगे. एक स्टेप पीछे आने का मतलब होता है कि हम लोग जो फिल किए थे उसको हटा देंगे. आप समझ रहे हो, मतलब मैं ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि इस समय, मतलब कि इस वाले स्टेप में जो हम फिल किए थे उसको हम लोग क्या करेंगे, आई से, अभी क्या है, आई है वैल्यू, राइट? अभी आई है, तो आई हटा के कुछ भी रख देंगे हम लोग, अनअसाइंड या समथिंग लाइक दैट. लेट अस से कि हम अनअसाइंड का वैल्यू -1 लेते हैं, राइट। तो -1 ये कन्वेंशन है हमारा, -1 याद रखना, ठीक है। जैसे डीपी में कर देते थे -1 पुट कर देते थे सारे इनिशियल वैल्यूज को, ठीक है। और ये क्या है, रो कॉलम। ध्यान से देखो, लाइन नंबर 26 पे मैंने जो अभी लिखा, मतलब उसको रिवर्स करने की कोशिश की, ये कौन सा रिवर्स हुआ है, ये लाइन नंबर 23 वाला रिवर्स हुआ है। इसको स्पेस हटाओ, जरा अच्छे से फील आएगा। देखो, जो हमने यहाँ पे मैट्रिक्स में, मैं हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ, आई एम जस्ट हाईलाइटिंग इट, मैट्रिक्स रो कॉलम इज इक्वल टू आई, यू पुट इट एंड देन यू स्टार्टेड सॉल्विंग फर्दर सेल्स and then you realize that you are going in the wrong direction the moment you want to keep it back actually. So what is the backtracking means? Backtracking means that you just remove the previous one what you have kept actually, right? For example, मैं रियलिटी में दिखा रहा हूँ। देखो, जैसे मान लो कि जैसे मान लो यहाँ 2 एम्प्टी सेल रहता, ठीक है, और दिस हाईलाइटेड वन, इस एम्प्टी सेल को हमने फिल किया, ठीक है, फिल कर दिया, और उसके बाद हम चाहते हैं कि हम नेक्स्ट सेल को सॉल्व करना है। तो लेट अस से कि हम सेकंड वाले ई पे सॉल्व आ गए, ई मतलब कि एम्प्टी है, ई वहां फिल करना है, ठीक है। और इसको सॉल्व करने पे आए और देखिए कि यहाँ पे तो कोई वैल्यू पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, इसका मतलब है कि हम गलती चले दिए थे, राइट। तो हम क्या करेंगे, पहले वाले ई पे जाएंगे और उसको डिलीट करेंगे, क्योंकि वो भी गलत है, यानी कि, राइट। तो जब, सो व्हाट वी आर सेइंग हियर दैट going to the previous e and then deleting the number actually is done by this line number, matrix row call is equals to I. So that is kind of backtracking. I hope that you all got it because this is very simple. So one more thing in backtracking, डीपी में कोड रियलाइज करना जरूरी होता है। रिकर्सिव फंक्शन को, रिकर्सिव फंक्शन ब्रेन में सोचना पड़ता है बेसिकली कि रिकर्सिव फंक्शन सही, अगर स्पेशली अगर आप टॉप डाउन अप्रोच लिखे हो और मेमोराइजेशन लगा रहे हो तो आपको सोचना पड़ता है, मतलब कि फंक्शन सही काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है। बैकट्रैकिंग में क्या होता है, द इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट इज, फन पार्ट इज दैट कि आपको ज्यादा डीपली सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है। ज्यादा डीपली सोच सकते हो, दैट इज नॉट अ बैड थिंग, लेकिन टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम, to solve a particular problem you do not need to, just wait a second, someone messaged. Or put speaker or like that. Anyway, so what I was trying to say is that backtracking में आपको डीपली रिकर्सिव सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस ये 3-4 चीज आपके ब्रेन में रहना चाहिए, कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे तो फिर आप सॉल्व कर लोगे। क्योंकि देखो, मैंने इतना ज़्यादा सोचा नहीं, मतलब इसी 3 फंडामेंटल्स पे मैं सॉल्व करता था प्रॉब्लम्स को। बेस केस लिखना होता है, फिक्स है। बेस केस क्या होगा कि सॉल्व कर पाया नहीं कर पाया अभी तक, ये बेस केस हो गया। हीट एंड ट्रायल करना है तो हीट एंड ट्रायल दिख ही जाएगा, जैसे कि इसमें सुडोकू में कि 1 2 लाइन लेना है, एनक्यू में होगा कि सारे कॉलम्स पे ट्राई करना है रख रख के, राइट। तो हीट एंड ट्रायल सोचना पड़ता है। रिकर्सिव फंक्शन आपको ब्रेन में रिकर्स करके देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ। क्योंकि रिकर्सिव फंक्शन ऐसे एक बार पुट किए हीट एंड ट्रायल में, मैट्रिक्स रो कॉल इज इक्वल टू लाइन नंबर 23, राइट, एंड देन यू पुट अ रिकर्सिव फंक्शन, ठीक है। अब नेक्स्ट सेल को ट्राई करते हैं करके, ठीक है। अगर वो ट्रू रिटर्न किया तो अच्छी बात है, अगर वो ट्रू रिटर्न नहीं किया इसका मतलब है कि वो फेल हो रहा है पहले वाला सेल, राइट। तो पहले वाला सेल को जाके -1 कर देंगे। ऑल ऑफ यू गॉट इट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? इट इज वेरी इजी टू राइट बैकट्रैकिंग सॉल्यूशन एक्चुअली। जस्ट ये 3 कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होना चाहिए कैसे कैसे करना है, ठीक है। और देखो, ये हो गया, ठीक है, ये हो गया, ठीक है, ये हो गया मान लो, ठीक है, हमने रिवर्स कर दिया। अब ये पूरा प्रोसीजर चलते रहेगा, ठीक है, पूरा प्रोसीजर चलते रहेगा। और उसके बाद क्या करेंगे हम, फॉर लूप के बाहर, मतलब कि लेट मी राइट फॉर लूप, फॉर लूप खत्म हुआ और फॉर लूप के बाहर हम क्या करेंगे, अगर सब कुछ हो गया तो फॉल्स रिटर्न कर देंगे। मतलब कि हम सारा एलिमेंट को ट्राई कर लिए, फिर भी वो देखो, ये इस पोजीशन पे कब आएगा, जबकि आप सारा कुछ ट्राई कर चुके हो और यहाँ से ट्रू रिटर्न नहीं कर रहा है, तब यहाँ पे फॉल्स आएगा। तो इसका मतलब है कि सारा कुछ ट्राई करने के बाद भी अभी भी वैल्यू फॉल्स आ रहा है, तो फिर आप फॉल्स रिटर्न कर दोगे। डिड यू गेट, एवरीवन गॉट इट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? मैं ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ, इस फॉल्स का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है कि इस फॉल्स का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है कि देखो, अगर ये रिटर्न ट्रू कर देता तो आपको रिटर्न लाइन नंबर, मतलब आप रिटर्न फॉल्स पे आने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती, राइट। तो अगर रिटर्न फॉल्स हो रहा है इसका मतलब है क्या, अगर इस लाइन तक पहुंच पा रहा है इसका मतलब क्या आप समझ रहे हो? इसका मतलब है कि फॉर लूप, देखो ये फॉर लूप है हमारा, ठीक है, फॉर लूप सारा का सारा ट्राई हो चुका है और उस सारे में से रिटर्न ट्रू कहीं पे आ ही नहीं रहा है, तो फिर जाके हम लास्ट में फॉल्स पे आएंगे, ठीक है। तो ये लास्ट स्टेप हो गया कि हम रिटर्न फॉल्स किए, राइट। किसी को कोई डाउट इसमें अभी तक? एनी डाउट? Like in all the 3 steps, base cases, hit and trial, and then recursive function. please write line number 24. Yeah, thanks for asking question. Line number 24 you are telling, right? So what I'm trying to say is that, for example, in the Sudoku, you see in the example mentioned on the line number 10, what I'm trying to say is that you started filling, and then suppose that you are talking about the row wise. Just 1 minute, someone is message. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that you see in the example given, line number 10, basically you started solving, and then suppose that you are solving in the row wise, right? And then you came to a point that it is empty basically, right? So it is empty, so this means that you have to solve it, and you solved it. Let us say you put it there as let us say you put it there 8, let us say, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, let me remove this one. Yeah, suppose that you started filling this empty cells basically, and you filled it, and then the value is, let us say, 8, right? And then you came at this point, this E actually, and you feel like nothing can be put here basically, like constants are, other constants are failing basically. And then you realize that key nothing is possible at this E location, provided you have filled let us say this first value filled as 6 actually, right? And then you came here, you reached that second empty cell, and then you realize that nothing can be put here because I have mentioned 6 there, right? So what you need to do, this you already got filled, right? So you need to go back one step back, and then you need to delete it. So if it is failing, so it will be returning false, right? So this if condition will not be executing, right? And then if it is failing, then it will come into line number 25, and it will try to like just omit the, मतलब पहले वाला जो e value हम 6 put किए थे उसको omit करके फिर से empty बना दो. तो empty बनाने का मतलब है कि 1 -1 put कर दो, right? Like that, right? Got it? Any other one, like who did not get like any step in this? तो फिर ये जो सब फंक्शंस लिखे हैं वो हम समझाएंगे. बहुत सिंपल है, बहुत सिंपल है. बैक ट्रैकिंग इज वेरी सिंपल एक्चुअली. यू नो व्हाई? बिकॉज you do not need to think actually in terms of like backtracking really like writing each and every parameter, and then you need to call every function. But in the case of DP, it is difficult. Why it is difficult? Because you have to write recursive function, and recursive function, till the moment you do not realize and link correctly the sub problems, you make a sub problem and then you link it to actual problem, you'll not be able to write a recursive expression. And the moment you will not be able to write recursive expression, you'll not be able to solve DP. So that is why DP is more complex. But this seems to be complex, but it is not complex to write the code for a dynamic like backtracking problem actually. Anyone, any question in this problem apart from like what this function is doing, that I will discuss actually. This is the thing you have to like kind of remember actually, that what is the steps actually what is the procedure we used to follow, or what is the paradigm we used to follow in the backtracking problems. You have to write a base case which will check that whether the problem is solved or not. You have to write you have to start doing hit and trial, and then you have to write a recursive function. Any doubt in these things? If no, can you please write in the chat box? It feels more live actually if someone writes in chat box actually, for me at least, right? So if you feel like you are all clear, then please write in the chat box that you got it, right? Apart from you, of course you got it because you asked some question and then it was clear. Okay. Other people still do not get it. Don't become like disheartened or something if you are not getting the solution, because it may be possible if you are hearing this first time actually, so it may be troublesome for you, right? But if you'll keep hearing this, you will realize that it is not tough actually to think like to write a solution for a backtracking problem, right? Other people did not get it. Okay, at least I got few responses, right? You should be always very proactive in replying to the tutor, to replying to the meeting people. For example, if you land in a company and then some meeting is going on, or for example if someone is giving session, or for example it will happen for you, it will happen to you guys actually frequently. The moment you will join the company, people will come to train you actually from foreign. And for example they are teaching you not dynamic programming, of course, they will teaching you, let us say, database, or let us, for me it is like quant, so they'll be teaching me some credit algorithms, right? And if they're teaching in 1 hour session and nobody's asking any question, he will feel like disconnected, right? He will feel like nobody's getting it only. So even if you're not getting it, then also like even if you got all the things, you did not get anything, whatever may be the case, whatever may be the scenario, you should always ask questions basically from the like whoever is like training you in the company, right? So that is always considered a good practice, and it gets highlighted like in the meeting. If you're adding a valid questions, then it gets highlighted that it is considered as a good thing actually in the companies, right? So please make a practice to ask questions, to like to interact basically, right? That is the gist actually. That so interacting is linked with the emotional quotient basically, right? So let me tell you three things, which is not in the course, but yeah, this is very important. So there are three things in this world actually. So Stanford University scientists discovered that there are three things: IQ, EQ, and then SQ. So IQ is a thing which you already know, intelligence quotient, right? So every people in this universe, every people is having these three capabilities, unique capabilities: IQ, EQ, and SQ, right? All the like spiritual beings basically, or you can say spirit matter basically, that is different from matter, human beings basically, right? So IQ is something that calculations, or like you already know better than me, right? Intelligent quotient basically, like how fast you think, or how fast you can calculate the logical things basically, right? In that sense, right? EQ is something emotional quotient, right? So EQ is the thing by which you can like the ability to interact with others in positive sense basically. Like there is a concept of aura also, like uh, so aura concept is something like you just, I'm just mentioning it in a short actually. So aura is something like you are acting as a transmitter and like every human being is acting as a transmitter, that you are having some frequency, and whenever you interact with some other person, you will be accepting some frequencies, and you'll be like spreading some frequencies, right? So that is a kind of like transmission is keep going on, right? The moment two human beings interact basically, right? So so if your aura is very good, then the front people, he will realize that you are a very good person, or he will think good about it actually. So positive vibration basically, positive energy. So you can realize, you can see in the company, or even in college, that you can see that some boys basically, they don't talk to anyone, or kind of little weird, right? So so people feel like he's not very friendly, or he do not talk, or he's like, or he or she whatever, right? He's little bit like different, or she's having ego problem or something like that, right? So that's linked with EQ basically, emotional quotient, how you are interacting, how you are giving your impression on others basically. So that's comes in the picture of emotional quotient. So your success in your life does not only depend on IQ, it also depends on EQ also, and then comes in the picture SQ actually, spiritual quotient. That's a kind of awakening things, how much you are aware about your presence basically, right? Like what's happening in this world, how you see this world, perceive this world things basically, what's going on, why it is going on. It may be possible that one event is happening, and two different people, two human beings are thinking in different way. One is thinking that this event is being happened because of that reason, and other thinking the other way, that this event is happening because of some other reason, right? So causes may be different according to two persons thinking. So that those things comes in the like picture of like in the case of SQ basically, spiritual quotient, right? So these three, so a person's success in the life depends on all three, not only IQ or EQ, SQ. So you may realize that some persons, like some friends, mine also, like some friends were there whose IQ was not very strong, but their EQ was very strong. Like they can interact with people very good, in a very good way. They can give positive vibration. They can motivate a lot of, they can motivate a lot, like their juniors and like that, right? So those things come from that means that his EQ is good actually, right? So so IQ is not the only thing which finalizes your success in your life, right? So IQ, EQ, and SQ, all three mix defines your success basically. Why I'm saying that, for example, two students are having same IQ and they're both intelligent, they got in the company, and then after going in the company, one of them is having low EQ. So you realize that the person who is having low EQ, although he's working, but his work is not getting noticed, or like manager is not very much appreciating it, or kind of thing. He's not in the um, you can say talk to in people's like chat, right? So the person who's having same IQ but more EQ basically, he will gain actually. Why? You will see that in few years of time, he will get noticed, and he will somehow manage to send positive vibration all around the people actually, and he will get promoted like that. So it happens. So it's not that we should feel jealous or something like that. It means that he did something different which you are not able to do, right? So those things are there. Anyway, I just wanted you to know these things also, because that is important that you know these things. For example, I'll just quote one example. It is very funny actually, therefore like so there is one girl from IT Kharagpur, and she joined just my department basically. She sits near me only, so she joined this year, and we went to IIT Kharagpur for placements basically, right? So on the first day, I think, yeah, first day only. And while returning, there was a flight basically. I was not in that pool actually. I was in different pool. So while returning, she said something like, "I need to purchase something in Kharagpur, or I think, yeah, in Kharagpur or something like that, right? Or yeah, Kharagpur only, I think, or yeah, Kharagpur only." But people were telling that, other guys were telling that, oh, we are having flight and we can miss the flight. So she said something like, no, I want to go. I want to purchase. Then you guys can go, right? So so that means that EQ is low basically, right? So that what that thing is reflecting, that event is reflecting that she's not considering things professionally basically, right? She's not considering only that I have come not for my personal reason, not from my like personal money or something. I have come from company's purpose, right? Company is doing all these things. So those things are important. So you should not like you should not behave in that fashion, right? Because all the seniors, although they were talking humbly to her at that moment, but after coming to office, they all started talking about the God that she was doing like that. We will not be taking her next time, from next time, right? So that's very bad thing. It happens. It's normal actually. Not normal, I would say, but yeah, it happens because she's fresher. She's not knowing about those things. She's not being trained. Her mind was not being trained. Her IQ was maybe EQ maybe low or something, right? So yeah, these things happen basically. So be careful about these things, that you should not behave in a like something rude way or something like different, right? So yeah, so if you got this function, then coming to the point, everything done successfully, what this will be doing. So I'll be just going through these functions basically. So let me copy it. Okay, let me write everything done successfully. So what this function will be doing is that, so everything, so this was the base case, you remember? So everything done successfully means that you need to go to each and every cell and you need to figure out all the constants basically are fulfilled or not, right? So that will be kind of so how you will be doing that? One more thing, in the coding, in learning DS and algo, the most important part is that you practice yourself on some coding platform or whatever. You practice. If you will not practice, then nothing can be done. Same as mathematics. In mathematics also, it is being same thing is done, right? So yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that everything done successfully. Please tell me in the chat box what I need to write it here. Everything done successfully means that, I'm just giving hint. Everything done successfully will be checking three constants basically. That each number, like a row, so there are three constants basically, right? Let me write in comment. Row constant, right? These are the constant. If you have not played Sudoku anytime, row constant is there, column constant is there, and then box constant is there, right? In 3 by 3 box constant. No, if we, so someone has mentioned in the chat box that if we reach the last cell of the matrix, no, that will not be the case. It may be possible that we reach the last cell, but like you are right in the gist term, like it may be possible that we'll reach the last cell, but the last cell was wrong, right? So going more like to the point, what I'm trying to say that you need to just check all the three constant on every cell basically, isn't it? So what will you doing? You will be just iterating on the matrix basically, right? Now I'm not going to write how to iterate on matrix, right? You know it very well. So 4, and then iterate on matrix, and then check whether each number, or yeah, iterate on matrix means that there will be 2 for loops, right? One for I and one for j, right? And then let me write that also for j part. For iterate on matrix, iterate on matrix. So you'll be checking every cell basically, right? Now here what we'll be doing, we'll be checking that. So we got I comma j, right? One cell we have got it from these 4 loops, 2 for loops. So we'll check that whether this I is repeating in a particular row or not. So row constant, one thing is you need to check. Sorry. Yeah. Column constant, you need to check whether it is following, like this number is present already in the column or not, right? And then you have to check box constant. So these 3 constants you have to check. So this is one of the way to write the code of backtracking, like this function basically. And you know, these functions are very important. Like this concept is very important. You will face this concept somewhere else also. So what I mean to say is that there's another way to write this function basically. Other way you can do is something like, you see the base case is where here, if line of 15, if everything done successfully, then return true. You can also reverse the function basically. So what I mean to say is that, so what Godfather have mentioned in the chat box, if he reads the last cell of the matrix, not exactly that one, but he is really very near to the what I'm trying to say. So we can do something like, if you find the reverse of this problem, everything done successfully, so what will be the reverse? All things were not proper, or like one failed or something like that, right? So the opposite of everything done successfully, the opposite of what will be that? At least one cell is not matching actually, or you can say like that, or one cell is not following the constraint. But you know what? We have filled each and every cell of the matrix following the constraint basically. But because you see on line number 19, I've written if is possible. So this is possible function will be checking that whether it is following the constraint or not. So you can think in that way also, and you can code in that way. What I'm trying to say is that since in the matrix you have followed the constraints properly before filling it, so this function you reverse it. So we can check something like whether everything is filled or not. So what I mean to say is that whether we filled each and every empty cell. So empty cell is defined by e basically, or -1 value in the integer terms, right? So we can check, we can go in the matrix and we can check that whether each and every empty cells has been properly filled or not. If it is filled, that means that like everything is done successfully, right? And if it is not, then we can say that okay, like something is remaining, right? So that can be done in that way, right? So we can just check that whether any -1 cell existing or not. A cell whose value is -1, that kind of cell is existing or not. We can, and if it is existing, that means that we have not done each and everything like completely, right? So this means that the code will come down to this one, right? So you can just think how to implement actually everything done successfully, or just a reverse of this concept basically, whether we have like filled each and every empty cell or not. If any empty cell is remaining, that means that we have not completed the solution, right? So that will be kind of base case. And then I have used a sub problem, or we have not sub problem, we have used a function basically is possible. So what this is possible will be doing, you just think. So this is possible function will be checking that whether it is like, so yeah, here you can say it is better to write actually in this way. You can just iterate and check that whether any empty cell, this will be the better way, is remaining or not, right? This was the everything done successfully function. Now what I'm saying, sir, another function is possible function. So is possible function will be checking basically three constraints, right? So the moment we talk about whether it is possible or not, right? So three constraints will be coming: row constraint, column constraint, right? And then box constraint. So this will be the one. So this is how you need to think and you need to write the code. And you know what, the moment you will practice few questions, 2 or 3 questions, by writing the code by yourself, you will be like you will get the gist of the backtracking problems basically. You know that what to do actually in the interview, right? So like that. So then you need to just check actually how you'll be checking. You'll be just iterating in the rows basically to check that whether like all the elements are like so you need, you know what, you need to check is possible for one cell, right? You see, because before calling is possible, how we are calling matrix, you write it, it will become more clear. Oh sorry. So what I'm trying to say is that how we are calling, you are calling a matrix, okay, some value will be there, mn, I am not passing that, and then you are calling it with the help of one integer value I with the cell we are talking about, and no, so I is a value, right? And then the cell we are talking about, so int row and int column. So you see, you have to just check one cell, right? So you can do, so 3 checks will be there. One for row constant, whether that value I value is already present in the row or not, whether that I value is already present in the column or not, and whether that I value is already present in the box or not, 3 by 3 box. So you just need to figure it also that how to consider a box 3 by 3. Maybe you need to like multiply by 3 value and then decide actually that what will be the exact index of the box basically from where we are with the help of row and col, right? So like that, right? So these two are the functions used to solve this dynamic programming, right? But the gist is the same. Like you have to write in this way only: one base case to check that whether it is done or not, then one recursive function, sorry, then hit and trial, and then recursive function, and then undo. So undo in the sense that you have to like backtrack. So this was the backtracking. Let me add one more step: backtrack. So you just remember these 4 steps and you can solve any backtracking problem, right? Backtrack. So after writing recursive, if it is becoming false, if it is not written true, then we have to backtrack. I'll just show you another problem that these 4 steps are created by me, by my observation, and you'll see that in the other problems also this is true actually. Like these 4 things will be there in the case of backtracking, right? So I'll just discuss one other problem and show you that with the help of just these 4 steps actually you can solve any backtracking problem basically, right? So all these 4 things are essential in solving a backtracking problem, right? So let me discuss the first problem which I was mentioning, NQueen problem. Anything in this question you want to ask? Anything? I want you guys to code it actually basically, so that you can get gist of it, because this is mathematics. Coding is just a kind of, you can say that, elder brother of mathematics, or even mathematics only, same as mathematics only. So in mathematics, the more you practice basically, the more you will become expert. Nobody else can do anything on behalf of you basically, right? So it's like that only. The moment you will get this statement from by heart actually, what I'm trying to say, that you have to practice, at that moment you will become successful in life in the field of mathematics. That is gist. This is what I followed from my childhood. I mean, like, same strategy, like, so I'll practice and then I will succeed basically. There's no other way, shortcut or something like that. I mean, like, with the help of this I always got 9900 marks in my, like, till 10th standard in school. Although I was a backbencher, but I was good in mathematics. I used to study very few things, and mathematics was one of them. And then in the board also I got good marks, 9900. And then in the engineering college in the Fiji also I topped actually in my batch in mathematics. I always used to top. So mathematics is just the practice only. Coding also same thing. If you'll practice, you'll get it. Otherwise, you will not get it. That is simple as this. Practice it. There is no other way. So, but yeah, the till the thing which I have described actually we have discussed. I think you should be like now very relieved. Nobody was there to tell me these things basically in a systematic manner, right? But I'm telling to you guys. So therefore, I just keep telling that you all are very fortunate that someone is there at least to tell them what to do, what not to do, right? So yeah, let me take NQueen problem and show that how this will be exactly work on the same fundamentals which we discussed actually in first problem. So NQueen problem is the problem for this problem may not be known to all of you. So there is a n by n matrix basically. Here carefully. So we are having n by n matrix, and then we have n. So it is not that you need to know you need to know how to play chess or something. You will just, like, this question very easy. So n by n matrix is there. This is very clear. This much is very clear to you, I understand. So in the n by n matrix you have to place n queens basically. So it is rule of those of you who do not know chess actually, it is a rule of the chess that you cannot put 2 queens in same row, you cannot put 2 queens in the same column, and you cannot put 2 queens in the same diagonal. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Everyone, please write in the chat box. What I'm just repeating, that it is the queen rule is that in the chess that you can not put 2 queens, otherwise they will like cancel it. I mean, they can attack each other. If you'll put, they can attack each other. So we have to put n queens in n by n matrix in such a way that no 2 queens attack each other. So how are you putting? You cannot put 2 queens in same row, in same column, right, and in same diagonal. I mean, like, queen can attack diagonally also. So all of you like will be knowing what is diagonal, right? So in diagonally also queen can attack. So no 2 queens should be in same diagonal because they will attack each other, right? And we have to put n queens in n by n matrix in such a way that they don't attack each other, right? So that is the question of NQueen problem. There is a very famous problem. It was asked in my interview basically in different companies basically, not in one company, right? So yeah, this is the problem, right? So what I told to you, 4 things, right? First thing was that base case. Second thing was that you just think 4 things. Second was that hit and trial, right? You just need to think how to do heat and trial. Third thing was that. What was the third thing? Please post in the chat box. What is the third thing? Recursive. This should be in your cache memory. Recursive call, right? And the fourth thing is that backtrack. If you are going on the track, so backtrack, right? So this, with the help of just these 4 elements of backtracking, I'll be solving this problem as mentioned earlier, right? So you can keep on, like, you can start writing code. At least pseudo code you should be able to write, right? So how it will be pseudo code? Let us say bool and then nqueen solver, something like that, whatever. So this function is responsible for writing the solution. And what we'll be getting? Of course, we'll be getting one matrix basically, right? So matrix will be also always there. I feel like most of the questions basically will be consisting of matrix. So suppose that this is nqueen problem, right? So n by n matrix will be there, right? And then what else? Yeah. So what will the first step? We'll be writing as simple as this. Just keep on iterating. We'll be writing one base case, right? And what this base case will be checking? So this base case will be checking that whether we have done all the columns or not. So you see how we'll be trying to approach this problem in the case of like heat and trial one. So there in Sudoku problem, the heat and trial approach was something like we used to take every number from 1 to 9 and we used to put in each cell, right? That was the heat and trial. Here heat and trial will be, we have n queens. So what we're doing, we will keep putting in every column basically. So there will be n columns, right? And we are very much sure that the moment we put one queen in one column, that means that we cannot put another queen in that column, right? We need to use some different column. So what we're doing, that we will increase either column by column or row by row, right? So let us take column, right? Column as factor. Actually you can take row also, that is same because it is n by n. So you take one column and you put you put one queen in at first place, let us say in a particular column at 0th index, right? And then you try another column and then you think that where to put second queen in the second column, where to put in second column, right? And similarly you keep on increasing basically. So what will be the base case? Actually you can observe that if you have put all the, if you have like done all the columns, so column will be n, right? The maximum number of columns is given as n basically, right? So the base case is very, very simple in this case. If base case becomes n or even greater than n, it will not be greater than n, but just for sake purpose, if it is greater than n means that you have solved the problem, so return true. So that is the base case. You see, very easy like thing. Backtracking is very easy. You just need to know the elements and then you have to get the gist of backtracking, how it works basically. So if this is the case, we have written the base case, right? So base case is done. So this is a base case. I'm not adding any intelligence from my side. What I have posted the 4 steps, I'm just doing the 4 steps, right? You see now what things you will try. You have to do heat and trial, the second step. So there Sudoku we were doing like from n to, so from 1 to 9, 1 से 9 से के बीच में कोई भी नंबर, सारे नंबर्स को लेके सारे सेल फिट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि एक कॉलम के सारे वैल्यूज पे हम लोग फिल करने की कोशिश करेंगे, रो को बेसिकली, राइट? डिड यू गेट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि 9 कॉलम्स है, तो एक कॉलम को आपने चूज किया, पहले क्वीन को रखा, राइट? तो पहले क्वीन को कहाँ पे रखोगे उस कॉलम में, वह कैसे डिसाइड होगा? रो से डिसाइड होगा ना, कि फर्स्ट कॉलम तो फिक्स कर दिए कि फर्स्ट कॉलम में हमको एक क्वीन को रखना है. अब फर्स्ट कॉलम में कहाँ पे रखना है? लेट अस से कि एक कॉलम बनता है, सेम पिक्चर देखो आप, सुडोकू वाला ही पिक्चर देखो. फर्स्ट कॉलम जो है, फर्स्ट कॉलम क्या है? 5 6 देन एम्प्टी 8 4 7, राइट? तो लेट अस से कि हमने एन क्वीन प्रॉब्लम, ये एन क्वीन प्रॉब्लम का मैट्रिक्स है और हमने क्वीन को, फर्स्ट क्वीन को 5 की जगह पे रख दिया, राइट? या हमको डिसाइड करना है कहाँ पे रखना है. तो कैसे डिसाइड करोगे? अब देखो 5 किस पे, 0th रो पे, राइट? 6 जो है वो 1th रो पे है, मतलब कि रो डिसाइड कर रहा है, कॉलम तो हमने फिक्स कर दिया 1, समझ गए? तो मैं बोलना चाह रहा हूँ कि फर्स्ट कॉलम फिक्स कर दिया, अब रो डिसाइड कर, अब पता करना है कौन से रो पे रखोगे, राइट? तो यानी कि रो पे इटरेट करना है बेसिकली एज सच, राइट? क्योंकि कॉलम तो हम फिक्स कर दिए. आप इस प्रॉब्लम को अदर वे अराउंड भी सोच सकते थे कि हम रो में फिक्स कर दिए कि फर्स्ट रो में रखेंगे, अब कॉलम में हम सोचेंगे, राइट? कि फर्स्ट रो फिक्स कर दिया, फर्स्ट रो में कौन से कॉलम में रखना है, राइट? लाइक दैट. Anyone who did not get this concept, basically what I'm trying to say, can please post in the chat box. I'll just repeat it once again. Let me name it as something which will be very intuitive actually, right? So int row basically 0, and then the similar fashion, like row is less than And now the row is also n only, the number of maximum row is n only, right? So row is n basically, and then plus row, right? So this is a second step, heat and trial step. We have done it, right, successfully. We thought how to do heat and trial, and we just code it. We just wrote a for loop basically for heat and trial one. Now comes the third step, right? That so first of all, complete the heat and trial step. What we'll be doing, we'll be checking that is possible or not. That is possible function will be coming many times in the case of backtracking problems. Is possible. So what is possible? Is possible to write matrix. First of all, we need to pass matrix, and then if it is so which row and column. So row, it will be keep on iterating, right? Column we have already fixed. We'll just, yeah, column we have already fixed. Let us say col is there now. So let us say one value as col, integer col, right? So column we have already fixed, and row we are iterating it, right? So now if it is possible to do this, what we'll be doing, we'll put it, right? The moment we feel like this is possible now, so we'll put it. So what will be putting? Matrix. Just in the case of Sudoku, remember the solution, what you used to do, matrix, which is the row, this is the call, and then you put it. So by putting means that you put it as value 1 or something like that, which will indicate true, something, right? Now what we have to, so you put it, right? Let me do this way. Now what we have to do, you have to recurse, third step, right? You have to write a recursive call, right? So anyone, any doubt in this problem or in this discussion, can please post in the chat box. Now what you have to do, you have to do the recursive call. So what will, how you will be doing recursive call? You will be doing it for next column, isn't it? That is what in the Sudoku what we used to do, you used to go to next cell basically, right? Because the for loop was there. You see in the Sudoku what you used to do, in the Sudoku line number 23, you used to solve it for basically next matrix basically, I mean the next cell in the matrix, and that will figure from this particular if is possible one, right? So like that here also the next thing will be the same function, nqn problem, nqn solver, and the next will be the next column in this sense, right? In this question the next will be next column basically, right? So we'll just pass matrix as it is, but the column will be column plus 1, like that, right? And so this is a kind of recursive call, right? So if the recursive call is true, then we will return true. But if it is returning false, then what we'll do, we'll be backtracking the fourth step. So backtracking means that you just reverse the thing which you did actually. Matrix is equals to, let me put the value as -1 initially, right? -1 is a great convention, we always try. Row call, right? What you just did on line number 70, I'll just reverse it back on line number 72, right? Like that, right? And then yeah, right? So we just backtracked it. Someone has asked question, so whether the NQN problem follows the same rule of chess? No, I mean, like, so NQN problem is not about the complete chess problem. It is just the like in chess also. In chess also, what we used to do, two queens, for example, your queen and my queen, if it is in the same row, it will attack each other, isn't it? If it is in the same column, it will attack each other. If it is in the same diagonal, it will attack each other. So that particular constraint from the actual chess is taken in this particular. We do not talk about other things, horses or whatever, the king rules and all, right? We always talk about the like chess rule, but in the case of queen only, we do not take other elements basically, right? So yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that we backtrack basically, right? Or whatever, we put it as -1, right? So yeah, we backtrack it, and then what we'll be doing, if it is coming after this for loop. So you see in the previous problem also we did like that, right? Remember, we in the end we return false. So the moment the code is coming here, it means that all this return true, which is line number 23, failed basically, right? Sorry, if it is coming to till return false, that means that कि पहले के जितने रिटर्न ट्रू थे वो एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हुआ है, राइट? तो पहले का अगर सारा एग्जीक्यूट नहीं हुआ है तो इसका मतलब है कि हम फेल हो गए बेसिकली, राइट? इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू पुट एनकिन और वट एवर, मतलब कि ये पर्टिकुलर सब प्रॉब्लम, मतलब ये तो रिकर्सिव कॉल में एक फंक्शन होगा, राइट? तो इसमें फॉल्स रिटर्न करना है, यानी कि हम गलत वे में जा रहे हैं बेसिकली, आप समझ रहे हो? तो वो फॉल्स रिटर्न कर देगा, समझ गए? तो देखो एक बार अगर फॉल्स रिटर्न हुआ तो ये कॉल कौन कर रहा था, यहाँ पे आ रहा था ना एनक्यू सॉल्व, ये रिटर्न फॉल्स किसका है, इस फंक्शन फॉल्स, तो यहाँ फॉल्स आएगा, तो यानी कि हम बैक ट्रैक करेंगे, राइट? तो वही मतलब बैक ट्रैक करते चला जाएगा, अगर वो एक बार गलती मिल गया ना और फिर से उसको सही नहीं मिल रहा है तो वो पीछे के पीछे चलते चला जाएगा, ठीक है? ऐसे करते हैं सॉल्व, ठीक है? एनी क्वेश्चन टिल नाउ? This is very simple, nothing like complex thing or something like that. Like all of you, for this reason only, I was not like I was not willing to discuss backtracking basically, because I know that okay, the moment I will tell you guys, you'll feel like, array, this is nothing complex. But yeah, you should be able to write the code, and then you will be like, you will get the gist of backtracking problem. You will be able to solve in any interview, or at least in any competitive programming problem, right? But backtracking will be taking a lot of time. It may be as worst as new approach only. Anyone? I'll be just giving break, actually 5 minutes break, so that you can go through the solution. Basically you can just take this collab edit link basically, and just try to make sure that you got everything, and then we will discuss maybe segment tree. Actually segment tree is very interesting thing, that is very important data structure, right? So we'll discuss about segment tree for a few minutes. We will start the discussion at least, so that we can complete in the next session, right? Anything, any general question? I'll be just out for 5 minutes. Please think and please post in chat box whatever question you are having related to anything in your college days, anything, because you guys are all in first, second, third year, and I have already passed this phase, right? So I want that like anything which you feel like, what whether it's right or not, like you can discuss with me. One more thing, it just came in mind. In first year, there was a very great havoc that like people used to give questions to other guys in class actually, that उस type of question, जैसे कि i प्लस प्लस एक ही स्टेटमेंट में, सी प्लस प्लस के एक ही स्टेटमेंट में देते हैं आई प्लस 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 आई का वैल्यू क्या होगा, ठीक है? और फिर बोलते हैं कि कुछ लोग 1 बोलेंगे, 0 बोलेंगे, 2 बोलेंगे, ऐसे करके आता था। और उसका एक्चुअल आंसर था कंपाइलर डिपेंडेंट होगा, ठीक है? और उसका एक्चुअल आंसर मतलब कि आपका डिफरेंट कंपाइलर्स में डिफरेंट आ सकता है, उसका एक्चुअल और आंसर होगा सीक्वेंस पॉइंट का कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, जो मतलब ये क्वेश्चन ही गलत है बेसिकली, आप समझ रहे हो? मतलब वो स्टेटमेंट गलत है बेसिकली, ऐसे स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिख सकते। मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ, मैं लिख रहा हूँ यहाँ पर, देखो इस टाइप के स्टेटमेंट देते हैं बहुत सारे लोग, आई प्लस प्लस एंड देन प्लस प्लस आई, ठीक है? और पूछते हैं कि इसका वैल्यू क्या होगा एक एक्सप्रेशन में, राइट? इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन। तो इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन फ्रॉड क्वेश्चन होता है, ये गलत है, मतलब कि ऐसे आप सी प्लस में लिखोगे तो मैं बताऊंगा सीक्वेंस पॉइंट का कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, वो गलत है लिखना, ठीक है? मे भी आप लोगों को नहीं पता होगा, ये मे भी आप लोगों को पता होगा, ठीक है? तो मेरे को तो ऐसे बहुत डिस्टर्ब कर रहा था शुरू में, फिर बाद पता चला मेरे को सेकंड ईयर में। ओके ओके गाइस, आई विल बी ऑफ फॉर 5 minutes. Please think any question if you're having, like Hi. Hi, Arunachal. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. So, so as mentioning that, do you have any specific problem, since we are kind of very few are there, and um, we can start segment tree problem basically. So if you don't know segment tree is a tree data structure basically for range queries. For example, if you're having 100 elements in the array, and we want to add elements from index, let us say second to 90th element, right? And then again someone is giving you query that you want to add from 10th elements to 50th element, like that, right? So since this is a simple summation problem, so there is alternate in this particular case. In this particular question, basically what you can do is that you can maintain one additional array, and you can keep cumulative sum basically. So what a cumulative sum is that, so let me show you. So cumulative sum is that, let us say we have an array and we are having element 1 2 5 4 3, right? These are the elements in the array, right? And the cumulative sum will be, let us say, a cumulative. So this will be 1, then 1 plus 2 3, and then 1 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5, it means that 8, and then 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4, it means that 12, and then like that 15, right? So this is known as cumulative sum. So if someone is asking to do that, please add from second element to fourth element, that means the 2 5 4. So you do not need to basically go through adding all those elements basically, whatever. So let us say second element is ith index and the fourth element is the jth index. So you do not need to add all the j minus I indexes basically, right? Whatever j minus I elements, what you can do is that you can prepare a cumulative array, and then you can just subtract the cumulative sum basically. So till fourth element, what is the cumulative sum? 12, right? Until second, what is the cumulative sum? Before that element only 3 is the cumulative sum. So before that any 1, right? So 12 minus 1 is that 11, right? So 11 will be the answer actually, right? You got the gist basically what we are doing. So we are kind of adding all, and then we are subtracting from the before one, right? So in this way you can get the solution. But suppose that you want to do some so some of, did you get what I said here, cumulative sum thing? Can you please post in the chat box? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that this one was easy one, right? Because summation is like the moment someone says to you that please sum from here to here, so what you can do is that sum all and then subtract before that one, right? But in the case of other problems, for example, GCD problem is there, SCF problem is there, right? So if someone is saying that can you please find out SCF or GCD, right, greatest common divisor of second element to last element, or second element to fourth element, third, whatever, right? So in that particular scenario, this technique will not work, isn't it? Because GCD, it depends on the operation actually, whether it follows the technique or not. Like in the case of some operation, it follows because we can subtract, right? But in the case of GCQ, we cannot subtract it, right? Because GCQ of something, like if you subtract it, it will be different answer, right? It will be wrong actually. So in those questions where we cannot, like you can say that subtract the range queries actually and get the answer. In those type of questions actually, for range queries, we use a segment tree data structure. This is a very famous data structure, and I will tell you. So in order n actually, you can construct a segment tree, I think in order n, right? And then you can order n, or I think n log n or something like that, right? And then so you, in general, what will happen if you will not use segment tree? Sorry, it is segment, right? Segment, it is segmentary. So in general, what will the time complexity of this particular, so this was the technique actually. Suppose you do not use this technique, how will you do? You just keep on adding from ith index to jth index. So suppose that there are 3 queries, right? Or let us say there are n queries, and for one query, how much you need to, what is the time complexity for one query? The time complexity for one query will be how much? Let us say you need to add from ith element to jth index, so it will be kind of adding all the elements in j minus I. So you need to operate j minus I, right? So every time it will be kind of j minus I. So summation of how to give that summation symbol? Okay, so I'm just writing in the English only, summation of all j minus I, right? Isn't it? So this will be time complexity. J is the jth element, I mean, like I said the second element to fourth element, right? So fourth element is the 4 is a j, and the second element is the index basically. So jth index minus ith index. So that many elements we need to like sum, right? So in queries, the time complexity will be summation of all j minus I. Like in one query, what is the j and I? Then in second query, right? So this will be time complexity, right? So for example, if j minus I is n, right, or like that, like from second element, so it is near to n only. So every time it will be n, right? So the time complexity will be n queries are there, and then for every query you need to upload n elements approximately. So it will be n square, right? So the time complexity will be order n square. Did you get it? What I'm trying to say? Time complexity, why it will be n? Okay. So where you will be using this technique? Yeah, good question. So you know what, the one of the interesting application I got it in the front end code, basically in the web application side. So are you in first year now, Arunachalam? Second year. Okay. So you know about the website, right? So in the web, actually we code it front end and back end, right? So in the front end, suppose that let me open some. Okay, suppose that this is a front end of Collaborate, right? This is a front end code basically which depicts it here, right? And you are having a lot of data basically which you are trying to post actually in the form of matrix basically. I mean like rows and columns, right? And you want that user, like, you know what, a way, the, like for example, I'm writing it here, right? So suppose that I'm writing my name is Abhilash Kumar or whatever, right? Abhilash Rudra. So what I'm trying to say is that this written thing does not go in the backend. Every time you request to a backend server, it will take more time. So the thing which do not need to go in backend can be done in the front end itself. That is the gist of front end backend basically. So मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ, so what I'm trying to say is that if you can complete operation without reaching to the backend server, you do not need to go to backend, right? It is always advisable that you complete that step in the front end itself. So what I'm trying to say, if you are having, let us say 100,000 data, 1 lakh data is there, 1 lakh rows is there, or 1 lakh, you are having an array actually of elements actually where the size of the array is 1 lakh, like 1 lakh elements are there in that array. And you, so those all 1 lakh elements are like being shown in the front end in the form of, let us say, grid or whatever, right? And you want that someone wants that, I want to just check that what is the let us say GCD, what is the GCD from second element to second last element, right? And then he wants to again check back what is the GCD of third element to fifth element, let us say, right? So like that, right? So yeah, exactly. So every time you do not need to contact the backend, right? Every time you do not need to contact backend, like you can do the operation actually in the front end itself, right? So for those purpose, you can just operate in the front end itself. Like if you'll use simple if you'll apply simple algorithm like brute force, right, it will be n square. And suppose that n is a 1 lakh, so it will be kind of 10 to the power 5 into 10 to the power 5, so that will be 10 to the power 10. If that will be 10 to the power 10, so in 1 second we can operate only 10 to the power 8 approximately, or even at max 10 to the power 9, or ideally 10 to the power 7 only, we think, right? So it will be taking 1000 seconds to just like display n queries value basically, right? So 1000 seconds is too much, right? Like clients will be like frustrated that it is taking 1000 seconds. 1000 seconds means that 50 by 3, so means that 16 minutes, right? 16 minutes is too huge, like it's too much time, right? So therefore if we apply segment tree, it will be done very quickly actually. So that is the one use case actually, because of the efficiency purpose only. So if you want to do operations basically on range, basically on a particular given range, then you can just like in that sense actually you can just apply segment tree rather than going in the brute force approach. That will be kind of like having like taking very less time. Okay. Okay, Arunachalam, I don't want to start it from like segmentary now, because like we are end actually, and we just finished the backtracking stuff. So so therefore I would say that we can start from, if you are having if you are having any specific problem in a specific question or anything about the college or whatever the company and all, you can just ask for me for 5 minutes. I'll be here, and then we can stop it, right? So yeah, anything you want to ask from syllabus or whatever, from course standard, or for companies what you need to prepare, in second year, like few months are remaining second year, right? So internship or whatever, anything you would like to ask, you can ask. We will be just having, I will just giving you 5 minutes till 4 minutes, 5:55, and then I'll just close this session. So how can I improve my coding skills? You have to practice basically. So since you are in second year, you are having a lot of time, right? So utilize this time. Do not get deviated here and there in doing this course, that course, getting this certificate, that certificate, right? This is what people go in wrong direction. This is where people go in wrong direction. So concentrate on your coding. No matter how much fails, how many times you fail, you keep on practicing basically. So let me show you, since you are the only one here. Nothing. So for example, since you are second year, you're having a lot of time. So for interview specific purposes, you can start interview purpose preparation basically at the middle of third year. The moment, like for example, like one of the semester has been completed in third year, from that time actually you can start preparing for interview, for like companies interview basically, right? And then you forget the world, actually you forget the world for 6 months, and then you keep preparing all the interview questions. But before that, you should be having a sufficient strength to practice interview questions basically. So since you are having time, so in second year what you can do is that you are basically from where? You are basically from where? Which place? Native place? Hello, I am asking like, oh, you're from Tamil Nadu. Oh wow, okay. I'm currently in Hyderabad. Yeah, so what I was trying to that, what you can do is that you can you see I have opened the CodeSafe platform, right? And then you see Apparel challenge is there, right? Apparel cook off. So you go to Apparel cook off. Let me open that for you. Oh, looks like since I am not logged in, Apparel challenge. Yeah, I can see there, right? So you see there are three kinds of basically contests basically on CodeSafe. One is long challenge. So this challenge is of 10 days. Let me open. So this challenge, Apparel challenge, every month actually they organize. So you see, this is the present contest which is going on. This is the future contest, and this is the past contest. So this page, like codesafe.com/contests, right? And this is the past contest. So you can like you can just for practice session. So you see every month at least there will be 3 competitions. One is that long challenge. You see there will be long challenge actually. You see this is March challenge long, and in this challenge there will be 10 problems actually. Like few problems, 1 to 3 problems will be easy. So you try to practice those questions. You try to solve it actually. Make one account in this. So this is long challenge. You try to solve at least few questions, whatever you can solve. One question even it will be very a great success for you because you are new, right? And then March lunchtime is there, and then one more will be cook off will be there. So cook off, where is that cook off? Yeah, cook off is a short challenge, so it will end in 3 hours. But March challenge, this is long challenge means it will span over 10 days. So you can give a lot of time in this. You can go for cook off, and you can go for March lunchtime. 1-2 question will be easy actually, one question at least. So you can try to solve those questions at least. And since this is a past contest basically, so you will be you can see this other solution, right? So you, for testing purpose, you can, lunchtime is for childish questions basically. So you can try at least those questions, right? So in that also, you see they have created now division 1 and division 2. So division 1 means that great programmers, right? Division 2 matlab whose rating is low actually. So you're new, so it will be low only, right? So for you it will be here. So you see this question, right? So this question will be there for division 2 basically, right? So chef swaps digits. So this question, so you keep on practicing, it will enhance your coding skills basically, right? So let me click this one. This is the simple solution, right? Because see 1900 people have submitted this question. I'm just iterating over the question in 1 minute. You see what is the question? Chef has 2 positive integers a and b. So 2 positive integers are there, right? So integer can be anything, right? And then he can tamper with them by choosing a digit in the decimal representation of a. He can tamper with them by choosing a digit, okay, 2 integers basically, right? So integer can be anything, 2 numbers basically. and then he can tamper with them by choosing a digit in the decimal representation. So whatever decimal representation of A is there, he will pick a digit from that, right? And a digit in, so he will pick one digit in A and one digit in B, and he will maybe he will swap it. Yeah, it is written there. And swapping this operation may perform at most once. So one time what they are trying to do, they are picking, so let us say one number is there, let me take, so every time you read the question and then you have to reach up to example input to understand the question very, very carefully. So before you that, you also read this one. The first line of input contains a single letter T denoting the number of test cases. So this will be a kind of test cases. How many questions, how many queries will be there like this? So you see 3. So this means that 3 rows will be there. So 3 queries, right? So in one row, one question, another row, same question with another input, right? Third row, same question with the third input, basically another input, right? And you see, and then the 2 numbers A and B will be there. And then output, what you need to print? You need to print a single line containing one digit, the maximum sum. So you have to find the maximum possible sum of the resulting numbers when chef can obtain. So you have to print the maximum sum, right? So whether I can any language you can code in any language, that is not a restriction here, right? So any language you can go, right? So for example, you see 3 1, what is the first question? 13 and 82. So how you need to think how you can swap the one digit of 2 numbers in such a way that sum will maximum, right? So which sum? Resulting number sum. So right, so let us say swap 8 and 1, right? So you know what, like what will be the brain, like brain should be applied in such a way that you swap the highest number at the unit at the 10th digit, right? In this case, so 8 and 1 it will be swapped. So what will this number will be? This number will become 83 and this number will become 12, right? So 83 and 12, how much it will be? 83 and 12, how much it will be? 83 will be 83 and 12 will be 83 plus 95 only. Sum is becoming 95. But you see, if you can swap 1 and 2, right? Like you can swap 1 with 2. So this number will become like 2 will come at the place of 1. So it will become 23 and this will become 81. So 81 plus 23 will become 104. So therefore 104 will be answered. So therefore 104, right? So like that you need to think. So you can try coding this solution. Basically, this is a very easy question. You try the solution today only, right? And if you cannot solve the problem, you see there is editorial. The solution will be posted here. You can go and read this editorial basically, and you can see that how it will get solved, right? So this is how you need to prepare. And the tags actually that. So which type of problem is this? So it is a cakewalk problem, right? And then it is like that. Other people names are there, right? So how you will solve this problem? You have to do this, right? So like that. So how you'll be solving it? One way to solve is that you can try swapping each and every number, right? Other way is that, what is the another way? Okay, I will not tell the solution. You try this ones, right? Like you try by brute force only. Brute force in the sense try everything, right? So you keep 3 at the place of 2 and then keep on swapping actually. And you can separate the integers, you can separate the numbers in this, right? So 13 can be separated 1 and 3, isn't it? Like you can divide it by 10, so you'll get 3, right? Sorry, you get 1, right? If you want to get the 3 value, so you can just do the like that percentage 1, right? Remainder 1. So if you will 13 percentage 10, so it will 3 will be the output, right? Remainder 1. So like that, right? So you keep on practicing these type of questions. It will take a lot of courage actually. You will fail actually, but don't become frustrated. Like I also failed a lot of time. So like that. Okay. Okay, Arunachalam. It's time to leave now. Thanks for there. Okay. Bye. Okay. Any other thing you want to ask? Okay. Thank you. Bye.